This week, I built the ultimate workbench that I needed to help get this shop organized, with miles of T-track for holding down work pieces. And these drawers with organization for everything I need right at my workbench. And this vertical pull-out drawer to store all my saw blades. And this cabinet to store larger items. And a wall control panel for all the tools I need quick access to. And this drawer for all my Kreg tools. And I've created free plans so you can build this as well.
This video is sponsored by Kreg, and you can find free build plans for this workbench on their website, buildsomething.com.
So stick around and see how this whole thing came together.
I started with sheets of Baltic birch plywood I got from my local plywood dealer, and I can start breaking these sheets down into the panels I need to assemble this workbench. Now, rather than try to muscle a 4x8 sheet of plywood through my table saw, I use the Kreg AccuCut. This essentially turns my circular saw into an accurate and straight track saw. You can make all your cuts with the AccuCut, but to speed things up, I also use my table saw. Also, it's important to label all your pieces as you go so you don't get confused during assembly. So far, you see me cutting the panels needed to begin putting together the front half of the lower carcass. And here's a sketch to better explain what I'm doing here. These 3 partitions join to these 3 lower panels, and this sets the length of the center divider. To cut this, I use the track extension of my AccuCut, which allows me to cut along the 8-foot length of a plywood sheet. This is also a good time to cut the 2 panels that get laminated together to form the tabletop. I cut the second panel slightly oversized so I could flush trim it even with the first one later on. I applied liberal amounts of wood glue and spread it around all the way to the edges so I wouldn't have any gaps between these 2 panels. Once the panel was lined up, I used clamps around the edges and weight on top while it dried. Now it's time to assemble the carcass of the workbench, and here I'm figuring out placement for the pocket holes I'm using to assemble this workbench. Next, I cut down 3-inch strips over on the table saw to be the upper stretcher and supports. I drove in pocket screws in all of these panels, making sure to space them so I didn't have any screws running into each other. And a quick note, I didn't use any glue when assembling my workbench, so I could take it apart if I ever have to move it. My friend Matt came over to help assemble everything, and it was helpful to have a second set of hands and helpful to have these right angle clamps to keep everything square. To put these panels together, I would clamp one of the lower panels to the partition with a right angle clamp, check for square, and then drive in pocket screws. I worked my way from left to right until I had the lower section together, and then I came back and added these upper stretchers. Now it's time to attach this section to the center divider, and I had Matt apply downward pressure to keep things from sliding while I drove in more pocket screws. To finish out the front side of the cabinet, I added this final piece, which is the panel that closes out the front of the side drawer cabinet. For the back side of the workbench, I first assembled the panels that make up the vertical pull-out drawer, lined it up with the end of the carcass, and attached with pocket screws. From there, I could finish adding the last few panels that would finish out the lower portion of the workbench cabinet. Again, it's important to use clamps when driving in pocket holes so they don't slip and get misaligned. The next day I started working on the drawers, but first I'm breaking down this 1/2-inch plywood into 4 2x4 panels to make them more manageable. Next I ripped these down into 16-inch strips that are 5.5 inches wide. And I needed to cut these to their final length over on the miter saw. And here my friend Jacob showed up to pick up my old workbench just in time to make room for the new one. As I'm marking out the pocket hole locations, let me show you how I assemble my drawers. The front and back panels get pocket screwed into the side panel, and then I attach a piece of 1/4-inch plywood to create the drawer bottom. To get square repeatable drawers, again, I'm using these right angle clamps I picked up from Rockler, so I'll leave links to these and all the tools I use down below. These clamps take the guesswork out of getting straight drawers, and as you can see, these came out perfectly square. I finished putting together the other 7 drawers and used this drawer to set my table saw fence to cut the drawer bottoms. And here's an example of why I avoid cutting large panels on my table saw, mostly my lack of coordination. With the drawer bottoms complete, I attached them first with a few brad nails and then finished by pre-drilling and adding 1 1/4" screws. To mount the drawers, I'm using these 18-inch full extension drawer slides. I set the correct spacing for the slides, which is 3/4 inches plus half the width of the drawers. And then I used some scrap plywood to hold the slides in place while I attached them with screws. I repeated this process to both sides on both drawer cabinets before I cut off 6.5 inches of my spacer boards. This allows for the 5 3/4 inch tall drawer plus the 3/4 inch spacing from the drawer above. Next, I marked out the center of the drawers and attached the pull-out slides with 3 screws. With all 8 drawers done, I could slide them into place and start cutting the panels for the drawer fronts. I cut them to have about an 1/8 inch reveal all the way around and attached them from the inside of the drawer with 2 screws. Moving on to the cabinet doors, I cut them both to fit and marked out the locations for the hinge hardware. I'm using this Kreg concealed hinge jig, and I love how easy this makes this process, which would otherwise require a ton of precise measurements. I inserted the hinge and used a self-centering drill bit to pre-drill the holes before attaching with screws. With the inside latches attached, the door just snaps in place. For the vertical pullout, I use this Kreg drawer slide jig to hold them in place while I attach the slides with screws. I attached the drawer front to the vertical pullout with pocket screws and then slid the vertical drawer in place. Back to the tabletop, I cleaned up the top overhanging piece with this flush trim bit. I switched to a 3/4 inch straight bit and started routing the grooves for the T-track. I did each groove in 2 passes and checked the fit after the first one. The track was snug but was a good fit, so I moved on to routing the remaining T-track grooves. One thing to note when routing the grooves across the 6-foot length of the top is you can see where I clamped another board in place to keep the middle of that guide board from flexing. I finished the top by adding a small round over to remove the sharp edges. For the cabinet shelves, I used this shelf pin jig to add shelf supports. Inside the vertical drawer, I added this wall control strip to hold my table saw blades and table saw accessories. I also added this set of knockdown workbench casters so I can move this behemoth around when I need to. Moving on to the drawer pulls, I cut in a 45-degree bevel along these strips and then ripped these to about 1.5 inches wide. I wanted to add some color to the workbench, so I'm using Total Boat enamel paints to paint the drawer pulls, and they come in bright colors and these convenient bags. These are marine grade enamel paints, so they should hold up to the wear and tear of being in my shop. Also, you'll see later on that I ended up painting over this green with a light blue because I didn't like this color combination. It looked a little bit too Christmassy. To attach these, I lined up the drawer pulls flush with the drawer face and then drove in screws from the back side. I attached the tabletop to the lower carcass with 1.5 inch screws through the upper supports. Now it's time for finish, and again I'm using this Total Boat marine spar varnish because I want an extra durable finish. I'm going for a satin finish, but with this varnish you first apply 2 coats of gloss before adding the final coat of satin. Also, you saw me thin out the first coat, which helps it penetrate down into the wood grain. If you're interested in this durable finish, I have a coupon code for Total Boat down below that will get you 20% off. The next step of the workbench is adding this T-track I got from Rockler, and I first installed the intersection pieces. Since this T-track is aluminum, you can cut it with your normal woodworking tools, which I did on my miter saw. I pre-drilled the attachment holes with a self-centering bit, and you definitely want one for this task. I installed the T-track with 3/4 inch number 6 screws. I did a quick test to make sure everything was lining up properly before adding the remaining T-track, and while I do that, I want to thank everyone for your support. But most importantly, I want to thank my Patreon supporters, including Jenny and Davis, the Wood Pastor, and the rest of my patrons, with a special thanks to my top patrons, David Britton, Matt Varughese, and DFM Toolworks. My patrons get access to exclusive content, sneak peeks, and online chats. If you're interested at all, there's a link below. Thanks. Here I added a wall control panel to this front section for some additional tool storage. So I've always had a problem getting organized in the shop, but this workbench is a big step in the right direction. The next project is a new miter saw station with storage, and together these projects are going to help declutter and organize my workspace. I'd like to give a big thank you to Kreg for sponsoring this project and for supporting what I do. I'd also like to thank TotalBoat, Rockler, and Wall Control for making this project possible. And you can support this channel by just supporting those companies that are so supportive of the woodworking community. All right, I'm super happy with how this workbench turned out, and Norman, well, as you can see, he loves it too. Thanks, and I'll see you back here next time.